When you make decisions for your company, you look for the no-brainers. And if you have a lot of mailing to do, Stamps.com is the ultimate no-brainer. Mail checks, invoices, documents, and everything you need to keep your business running. Get rates up to 89% off USPS and UPS. And with the mobile app, you can take care of mailing on the go. Make the same no-brainer decisions as over 1 million other businesses with Stamps.com. Sign up at Stamps.com with code PROGRAM for a special offer. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.
We made this.
All right. Hello and welcome back to We Are Starfleet, and welcome back to me. My name is Mike Slamer. It's been more than a minute since I've been on the podcast. My colleagues Ian and Craig have taken on kicking us off with the Star Trek Prodigy coverage, and I'm picking up some Prodigy coverage here with my wonderful new co-host, Ashley Thomas. Ashley, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. Happy to be back aboard the good ship Protostar right now.
The Protostar.
The Protostar.
So pretty cool that, we're evolving We Are Starfleet, the podcast, into covering some of the more modern Trek in our modern day era. And, Ashley, you've been a guest on the show, more than a handful of times now. And I'm so happy that you are going to kind of work with us here to continue to evolve the show and make it something really special.
I'm so excited to be on the team with you guys, to be amongst such great guys on the crew. So this is fun. Always happy to talk about Star Trek at any time with anyone. So, but especially you guys, because we always have good conversations. We don't always agree, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy the insight I get from discussing with you and Ian and Craig. So I'm looking forward to being on board.
Oh, likewise. Thank you so much. And I can tell you that, we've gotten some good feedback, not only from our own network colleagues and producers over at We Made This, but also on the Twitter, the regular listener subscriber base. Thank you to all of you who have been chiming in and getting excited about our Prodigy coverage and talking about how great it is that we are bringing it all together under one roof here. So, Ashley, we're talking Star Trek Prodigy.
Woo!
Episode 12?
This is episode 12.
Episode 12. It airs November 3rd, 2022. Pretty cool stuff. It has a very interesting title. And Ashley, have you been scared by the Borg recently? Because this is a new thing, and I got to say, I was a little scared when this title popped up.
I mean, every time I watch an episode of any Star Trek that has the Borg in it, I definitely get nervous.
Right.
I really enjoyed, I'm blanking on her name. I'm so sorry. The lady who played the Borg Queen in Picard was Annie Wershing. Annie Wershing.
Yes.
Yes.
I wanted to say Alice, of course. But
yeah, I wanted to say Alice Krieg too, but no, Annie Wershing. Yes. She was particularly sinister and scary and a bit seductive as the Borg Queen in Picard. I really enjoyed watching her and Alison Pill play off each other. But she definitely creeped me out, especially in those early episodes. Gross. But watching today, like the episode that's dropping this week, holy cow! Didn't expect the Borg to show up in Prodigy. Hello. But two, they were really I got real scared. And I don't know if it's let's lean really hard into like biological stereotypes, but I am a lady and I'm watching these babies be in in danger. I was like, no, children, no, run away. I don't know.
When they put Rock Talk on, when they got a hold of Rock Talk, I was fully expecting something else to happen, and I was very nervous, very anxious about how that scene would play out. And thankfully, we had a pretty solid resolution to that, which I think we can talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Borg are back on Prodigy of all places, and in fighting form.
They don't play.
No. So excellent episode. Let me get your overall impressions of this episode. Of course, Star Trek Prodigy. The show has been on the air now this is the second episode after it came back from a season, a couple of months of a break.
Yeah. So this is like the second episode after a mid-season break. So
yeah. I guess they gave it some time. They let Star Trek Picard, Strange New Worlds, and Lower Decks have the airtime while they flesh things out, I suppose. But I really enjoyed this episode. It has to be probably a solid 8 for me in terms of, out of 10, 8 out of 10, very easily. Maybe a couple of tribbles here or there, so we'll split the difference. But the pacing, the action, and Ashley, this is on Nickelodeon. It's a kid's show, but it takes it seriously, and it doesn't treat kids, I think, like little kids. They talk to them maturely, like young adults, and I really appreciate that.
I do too. And Mike, I don't believe we've said the title of the episode. It's where Let Sleeping Borg Lie.
Let Sleeping Borg Lie. Thank you for catching me on that. Yeah.
All good. But yeah, so in my work at Fangirlish, I've been really blessed with some opportunities to not only, cover Star Trek Weekly on the site, because I'm like, wow, I'm living the dream. This is my dream job. I get to write about Star Trek every week, and it makes me really happy. But we've also, I've also been given the opportunity to speak to some of the creators and showrunners and voice actors for not just like, Picard or Lower Decks or anything, but Prodigy as well. So about 2-3 weeks ago, I got to speak with Kevin and Dan Hageman about Star Trek Prodigy. And one of the things that I talked to them about, because I don't know about you, but I was deeply influenced growing up by smart children's television, namely Disney's Gargoyles, which you can quote me on this. That is the smartest thing Disney has ever done. Full stop. Put a period at the end of that sentence. It's true.
I think I'm going to write a tweet quoting you with just that.
You may. I don't care. I'm pretty sure I've tweeted it myself. But yeah, I was deeply influenced by that show growing up. It's at least 50% of the reason I majored in English. Rewatching it as an adult, I can now, easily see that it's a big reason why I love like fantasy and science fiction. Also, half the cast is from Star Trek Next Gen. So, I didn't watch Star Trek until I was an adult. So it was like a, kind of like geek prep school, if you will, for later in my life. But anyway, something I told the Hagemans is, as I was growing up watching really smart children's television, one of the things I appreciated about it was that, one, it's emotionally intelligent. Two, it treated me like I had a brain in my head, which, frankly is something I can't say for most of the adults in my life growing up. So I really appreciated that about that show. And so I got to talk to them about like, so how do you walk the line between making Prodigy accessible for kids without dumbing it down? And they basically said, talk to them like they're adults, like, like they can understand things, and have real stakes. That was the big thing. And I can't imagine realer stakes in a Prodigy episode that, let's show these kids the Borg.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah. And, when we get, I don't know if you're ready to just dive right into episode discussion.
Let's do it. Let's get right into it. Yeah,
let's do it.
Love this.
So I suppose if you haven't seen the episode, push pause, go watch. But when hologram Janeway says, I would advise turn tail and run, and you listen and they don't listen. But I'm all like, hologram Janeway, does she not have the power to like take control of the ship and drive them away? Because that's what I would have done.
Absolutely.
But no, she lets them go in and do their thing. I
think it kind of speaks to that whole, like, teenage defiance, like we're going to do what we want to do anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe so. I just, I can't imagine having let them make that choice. But then again, the more I talk, the more I'm thinking about, well, what did the Hagemans say? Like, have real stakes. Don't let, talk to the kids like they're adults. Like, you can talk to the kids like they're adults without sugarcoating stuff, without dumbing it down. But treating them like, they are capable of understanding and reasoning. And, I don't know how old our crew is supposed to be, teenage-ish. Some maybe a little preteenish. I feel like Dahl in some ways still very much like a middle school kid.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, like, these are kids that are really, they have their wits about them much more than I did at that age. So, you know what? Maybe they can sneak into a Borg cube. No, I'm loud. I can't sneak in anywhere, to anything. So
I'd be like, I'd be too scared of getting caught. Like I'd be there behind the pillar and like poking my head out. Like, nope, right. Not time yet. They'll be like 2 miles down the gangway, and I'll be like, nope, I can't go. I can't. They're gonna see me. Yeah. No.
Yeah. I would fall somewhere in between, like being too ambitious, be like, I ain't scared and I'll go, or I'll be like, and nope.
I love the sequence where when the Prodigy, when the Protostar first rolls up on the Borg cube, it's dormant, and the size disposition, and then you have that sequence of the Protostar going into the vessel. I thought it was a really excellent way to visualize the size of the cube versus our actual crew members, right? And it gives dimension. It gives a lens by which the viewer, we are full-grown adults who've been watching Star Trek since we can remember. And the Borg cubes were always portrayed as these massive, undefeatable vessels. And in many ways they are. But one thing that I think has happened throughout the Star Trek series is the sizes of the ships, the size and scale comparatively is always a little all over the place. So whenever the series takes a moment to actually show you, like, no, this is the size, this is the scale, it really comes full blast at you. And I think it's one of those moments where we know the Borg, but I wonder, I would love to show it to my friends' kids who are of age and can watch this kind of a show and understand it and get their thought on like what the anxiety level is when the ship is going into the cube. Like how are they feeling about it? Are they feeling the same way that I think the crew members are feeling? That's something really interesting.
Yeah, like, are they experiencing more curiosity than fear? I think that's an interesting point that you're bringing up, because we're watching it. We're like, no, run away, red alert, red alert.
Yep. And you've got Janeway in the back of your mind, like legendary Captain Janeway, dealing with the Borg, dealing with the Borg Queen, having to fight species 8472. Like we have all this history, but the kids don't.
Right. So so maybe it's a little more youthful
adventure.
Yeah, youthful curiosity. Yeah, so
there's always room for that.
Yeah. No, and there's plenty of room for that in Star Trek Prodigy for sure.
What did you think about the...
Have you heard about the 2018 study that showed half of prenatal vitamins tested had unacceptable levels of heavy metals? No? Well, now you have. I'm Kat, mother of 3 and founder of Ritual, the company making traceability the new standard in the supplement industry. I remember staring at my prenatal vitamins and finding all these things I was trying to avoid. High amounts of heavy metals, synthetic colorants, and unnecessary ingredients. So, at 4 months pregnant, I quit my job and started Ritual because I believe that all women deserve to know what they're putting in their bodies and why. I'm so proud of our prenatal vitamin. The ingredients are 100% traceable, it's third-party tested for microbes and heavy metals, and recently received the Purity Award from the Clean Label Project. You see, we trace like a mother because, let's be honest, no one cares quite like a mother. But don't just take my word for it. Trace for yourself with 25% off at ritual.com/podcast.
Zero's idea of, hey, let's go on this Borg ship because they'll probably know how to get rid of this corrupted code that we have discovered on our vessel. And that's our driving plot here, is that there is a corrupted code on board Starship Protostar that when it comes into contact with other Starfleet vessels will also infect and take over those vessels. And as we saw what happened with the relay station, would blow itself up.
Right. Yeah. I think that's really astute of Zero to point out that I wouldn't have thought of that. Also, I don't think I would have said that any chance of assimilation was worth the risk of finding out that information. But again, these kids have never encountered the Borg before. And even with Janeway explaining to them, this is bad news, we need to get out of here. They're like, nah, we got to do it. We got to do it. So I thought that was really, one, it was really smart of Zero to point that out. But two, I think this is also a very Starfleet thing. Like, we have to do the hard thing in order to protect others and to protect the good of the Federation. Or those who might be in danger, rather, not just like the good of the Federation. In particular, like those who are in danger right now are any Federation ship. So I think that is the it's the logical choice to try to find a solution to their problem, but it's also potentially the most dangerous choice. So good on Zero for making that call. I think that's very smart.
Yeah, definitely very courageous. And it holds through. And I have to say, Zero's courage as they were approaching the Borg collective consciousness and getting into that little logical debate before, and again, folks, if you're listening and you didn't hit pause, then this is chock full of spoilers and you kind of got no one but yourself to blame. So Zero gets assimilated similarly, I think, in the way that Captain Picard was assimilated. Now, Ashley, let's talk about the rules of assimilation. What are the rules?
I don't know. I feel like I should have studied for this test.
Yeah, it's a rhetorical question because I don't quite know the answer. But historically, we do know that when you are assimilated, you lose your entire individuality to the Borg.
Right.
However, there's like a little bit of your individual consciousness that still resides within. Right.
And we see that in this episode. So as I mentioned, I've had the good fortune to get to interview some of these folks behind the scenes. And so this week I actually got to speak with Angus Emery, who voices Zero. And I got to ask Angus, as I said, this particular scenario we find Zero in, it kind of hits on a pain point that Zero's had. You know, 01 used to be used to harm others by the diviner when they were, you know, captive. Zero was used as a weapon. It's like, you know, tell me what I want or go mad. So that was you know, particularly unfortunate use of Zero, and Zero didn't even do anything. Zero was just existing, and that makes, you know, people go mad when they look full on at a Medusan. And so Zero's got that bit of trauma in their psyche. But then even worse, Zero accidentally wipes Gwen's memory, you know, at the end of episode 10. So Zero is, you know, we've seen in these past 2 episodes, Zero's feeling pretty tortured about that. They're upset about it. And so all that to say, when Zero is within the Borg consciousness, they note, oh, you can see me and you're not going insane? Like, that's really seductive for Zero. According to Angus. And I thought that was a really interesting point. Like, Zero's like, I can exist within this collective. And, you know, if I'm given to understand correctly, I haven't read up on my Medusan knowledge, but Medusans are part of like a hive mind, are they not? Do they share consciousness?
It's not in the same way that it is with Borg, but yes, it is a little bit similar wherein they kind of share. They're more telepathic, than they are hive-ish.
Got it.
But they are like the ethereal, non-corporeal, and it's said in the episode, is there no okay, so it's the one with, is there truth in no beauty? I might be mistitling the episode, but where we first meet the Medusans, Vulcans are essentially like the only humanoid race that can actually view the Medusans, but only with the special 3D glasses that they have.
Gotcha.
And they generally they generally just communicate telepathically with each other. So when they are vocalizing with corporeal life forms, they're in that pod. Otherwise, everything happens telepathically.
Right. Got it. Okay. Yeah.
I think if anyone out there knows better, please, you know, tweet me and correct me.
Yeah. Open to correction here. We're not that pretentious. But anyway, like, you know, this idea that I can exist outside this mechanical body I've built for myself, and not have the threat of harming anyone in my collective or in my group or my crew or whatever, is particularly seductive to Zero, because they have experienced such remorse and pain at what happened to Gwen. So that I think is, again, what the Hageman said, creates real stakes for this episode.
Yes. The stakes definitely felt real. It's interesting that you mentioned about in your interview with Angus Emery, where you mentioned that he says that it's seductive for Zero, and watching it, I definitely saw. Well, saw isn't the right sense. I heard in Zero's voice the desire to be accepted, to the absolute seduction of, yes, there is something here that accepts me for who I am, and I can be a part of it and be a big part of it and be accepted and loved and wanted But of course, as we know, as viewers of the Borg, and I think even Zero knows inherently that the Borg are actually dangerous. This isn't a real offer. Just like when the Borg Queen was grafting skin onto Data, it wasn't a real offer. It was a means to an end.
Right.
And most folks, I think, can see right through that. Zero saw right through that, but it is still enticing. And it's an interesting element of storytelling to include in any kind of a show, let alone a kid's show.
Right. For sure. So that's again, we're establishing really high stakes here.
Yeah, in an episode 12 of season 1, by the way.
Yeah. So, and again, these are 25-minute episodes.
Yep.
So, the fact that we're able to have like this depth of storytelling in such a short time frame, I think is a testament to the quality of writing that we're getting here as well. So,
absolutely. Pulling out all the stops. I really loved the resolution of that assimilation scene. You've got the crew of the Protostar on this assimilation like cylindrical table kind of a thing, and the Borg drones are out in force. They're holding Gwyn, and Gwyn is having her big hero moment, telling Zero, "You can resist. You have people who love you, like you're upset that you hurt me, but you acted out of love. And I'll never forget that. Resistance is never futile." Definitely one of my personal standout moments of the episode. I thought it was really well done. And, keeping in mind that this is a show on Nickelodeon, kids are going to see this and they're going to hear resistance is never futile. Be yourself. Be your individual.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. I want to rewind just a little bit because there was a line. There was a line that she's like. First up, they just handed Ella Purnell all these fantastic lines in this episode. But right before she says that to Zero, she says, "It's the risk we all take when we share ourselves with each other." This risk of we're being vulnerable. We're sharing vulnerability. And when we share vulnerability, we risk being hurt. And that's something I didn't really even think about until an adult and until I was an adult. And that was, that one's hit home for me a lot more recently than, it ever did for me as a kid, or at least I never thought about it quite in those very articulate terms. But I'm like, what an emotionally intelligent thing for. My niece and nephew are 7 and 4, and they, so they would probably watch Prodigy. I need to I gave my sister my Paramount Plus login. Don't. Yeah. So I told her, I was like, the kids need to watch this. This is good stuff here. So I hope that they do that. And the next time I see them, I'm like, "Hey kids, let's sit down. Let's watch this. This is good. I'm gonna watch this cool show with Auntie." But what? I wish I had been told that when I was, a little kid. I wish I'd been told that as a preteen. I wish I'd been told that as a teenager. I wish I'd been told that in my 20s. It's such an important thing to learn, and the earlier you learn that, the better. But the thing is, Gwen points out it's a risk, but it's she basically says this is a risk worth taking. And, because she affirms Zero's like, what you did was an act of love, because you were trying to protect me. And she's like, I don't regret that. Even though I got hurt in the process, I don't regret that. And I was like, man, that is beautiful and poignant. And honestly, I got a little choked up, felt like a big crocodile tear well up in my eyes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I'm not wasn't expecting to go to counseling while watching Star Trek Prodigy, but here we are.
Here we are. I do feel like we need to hear, even as adults, we're millennials out here just trying to live, and we get sucked up in our microcosms of social circles, whether we're at work or we're out with friends or we're with our podcasting colleagues and friends. It's good to be told and reminded, like, hey,
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
You're an individual. It's okay to be vulnerable with each other. It's okay. Like, we're all going through this together. And that's what makes connection and life worth living is that vulnerability. So we're grown adults. We need to be reminded too. And, our parents need to be reminded too. It's okay. We are just beings led by emotion.
Yeah. Yeah. Whether we want to admit it or not.
Absolutely.
All the people are all like, I'm not ruled by emotion. I was like, anger is an emotion, friend.
Oh, big facts. A lot of men out there need to hear that. Oh, man. Okay, so getting back to Star Trek over here. Ashley, how did you feel about us getting some Starfleet plot finally?
Oh man, I was really excited. I had remembered a while back them announcing like these other crew members, but we didn't have context for who they were, or were they part of Chakotay's crew when he got taken, or what was the situation there? But we did know that we were getting Jason Alexander as Dr. Noom, I think is how you say that.
I think so. I didn't see it in the subtitle, so it was hard to really tell. But I think you're right, Dr. Noom.
Yeah. I'm looking up the IMDb right now just so we can get it right. Yeah,
I love hearing his voice.
I mostly know him as George Costanza. So
of course.
I'm like, oh wait, that doesn't sound like George at all.
I had one of those Leonardo DiCaprio meme moments. It was like, right there it is. Yeah, but he was great playing this new doctor. It was classic doctor in Starfleet, curmudgeon-y, quippy, doesn't want to hear it. He calls out the plucky young ensign for kissing tail, he calls it.
Yeah, and it's it's Dr. Noam. It's Dr. Noam, not Dr. Noam.
Noam. Okay.
Yeah. I remembered hearing the word or hearing the name spoken in the episode and thinking, oh, that's not how I would have thought to have said that. And so it helped me to look at how it was spelled. It's Noum. So Dr. Noam.
Noum. Very good.
Dr. Noam. So that was really fun. And, he's a Tellarite, so he just says whatever's on his mind, which is great.
Perfect.
And then we've got Jamila Jamil. I'm fresh off of seeing her in She-Hulk as Titania, so that's fun.
Yep.
And she was a lot of fun in that show. But also great in The Good Place and just everything. That
she's so lovely.
She's delightful. If you like, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you like podcasts. But if you like movies, go listen to her episode of Films to Be Buried With that she did. That's Brett Goldstein's podcast. You may know him better as Roy Kent from Ted Lasso.
Yep.
But she did that with him a few years ago, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my entire life. But anyway, so she's Essentia, and I believe that's the Trill ensign.
Yes.
Who's accused of kissing tail.
Yes. Yes.
So that was exciting. And then he wasn't speaking in this episode, but we've got David Diggs as Commander Tysus, which is pretty exciting. You may know him better as Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson in Hamilton. Or no. Wait, did I get that wrong?
He was in Blind Spotting, which I remember him in. That was an excellent movie. And also he stars in Snowpiercer, the television series.
Oh, okay. I have not yet watched the television series. I was on the fence about it. Yes, he is Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson in Hamilton. So that's how I know him best.
Nice.
But he's also on the other team as well. He was also in Star Wars Resistance. So,
well, that's all right. That's all right. Forgiveness all around.
Yeah. I'm team why not both. So anyway, so this is we've got like not just great actors like that we see on our TV screens and on our movie screens, but we've got a solid voice cast as well. So
we do.
Yeah. So you can't, you might fault Prodigy on other things, but one thing you can't fault it on is the quality of casting. So
definitely.
Lots of vocal all-stars on here.
Absolutely. Like legendary voices too. You've got John Noble as the diviner who comes in at the very end of this episode, which we'll talk about in a moment. But, John Noble of Fringe fame, of course, he's been everywhere and his voice is so iconic.
Yeah. And he just creeps me out every time he talks.
Yeah, it's perfect casting for this.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's so great. Anyway, but yes, we were talking about all of these this new crew.
Yes.
So yeah, really fun to get to see these people. It took me a second to really recognize Jamila Jamil as Cynthia, because she. Craig pointed out in the episode last week, but she's American, or she's using an American accent, but it's not the same American accent she uses as Titania in She-Hulk. So,
right. It's one thing when I know one of the biggest criticisms of animation and voice acting is when studios go out and they get like known actors.
Right.
I know the criticism has been levied at The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, because he just does the same voice.
It's just The Rock being The Rock.
It's just The Rock being The Rock. He's not being a character. So a lot of voice actors, when they get into the role, they put on a voice as to what they think the character would actually sound like. So I definitely, I had no idea it was Jamila Jamil until I actually looked at the cast listing to figure out who it was, because it was done really well to Jamila's credit, where I shouldn't recognize her. I want to get lost in the character. I don't want to be thinking, oh, that's Jamila.
Well, and you could really say the same for Jason Mantzoukas playing Jankum Pog, because it's only in the past couple of episodes where I'm recognizing, oh, that's the crazy guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine that Rosa dates for a little bit. That's what's his name?
He's also
from
in The Good
Parks
Place.
and Rec. Oh, he's okay.
Derek.
I haven't seen that far in The Good Place, I don't think.
Oh, okay. No spoilers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. But he's Daniel Fierstein or Firestein or whatever in Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Yeah. And so he's only in a few episodes, but that was my introduction to him. So I've seen him play like these really like off the rails characters. I've never seen him play someone who's like super, super likable.
Yeah.
Like Jankum Pog. And even then, like it was hard for me to distinguish that, oh, this is actually, Jason Mantzoukas. So I thought that was really good. Because, even these, and even like Ella Purnell, who's British, I've not really seen her in anything previously, but, having gotten to speak with her last year about Prodigy, again, her American accent is good.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have picked her out of a crowd. So even these folks who have, spent some time on screen are doing really well in the ADR room.
Yeah, Ella Purnell also plays Jackie in Yellow Jackets, which is an absolute phenomenal show. Incredible. We do have a podcast about it here on the We Made This Network. So, folks, if you're into Yellow Jackets, we do have that. Check it out at wemadethisnetwork.com. There's the plug. There's the plug.
It's, I think it's called No Book Club. Is that right?
Yes, Book Club. Yes,
I've not actually watched Yellow Jackets, but I was like, No Book Club. Is this a a section in our Discord about movies only or TV only? No, it's about a show I haven't watched.
Yes, correct. But Ella Purnell really brings it here in Star Trek Prodigy, and all the voice acting is great. One thing I'm really excited about is if you notice on the Starfleet crew, the uniforms and the comm badges all align quite nicely with the canon of Next Generation, All Good Things, and the post-Voyager stories.
Good catch there, because I was noticing them, but again, as I didn't come to Star Trek until about 2009, so 13 years ago. Wow, 13 years ago. But I've only, I finished watching all of Star Trek in 2015. So it's not been that long since I've seen those, but I wasn't really noting all the little details on the uniform. So watching this episode, I was like, oh, those are cool. Like, it's got like the kind of jackety thingy going on, like they do in Lower Decks, but you've got like the pips like Next Gen style, and then I noticed the comm badge was a little different. So, but I didn't realize that that was at the end of Voyager and Next Gen. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at that now.
Yeah. I'm sure that more eagle-eyed viewers will notice like little differences and different similarities from uniform to uniform. But I think that here they did a nice job of paying homage to these characters in a way that aligns with probably 100% of the fan base's imagination. And when these shows are coming out, and the producers and the CBS ad copywriters, when they're coming out and they're like, Star Trek, of course they want to bring in new viewers, and new viewers have no idea what a uniform looked like, 10, 20, 30 years ago. But everybody else who's already bought into the platform and is paying that good subscriber money every month, like, we want the love too. And that is what it is. It's really showing it. So kudos to the team, kudos to the art department for bringing that in. And not for nothing, but it connects the universe in a way where when these kids are watching those shows, because that's the goal, right? You get them hooked with this, and then you give them the old 90s, salamander sex episodes. It'll connect on some level. They'll recognize something.
Threshold. Wow.
I'll bring it up every podcast, I swear.
Well, I don't know if you listen to Mission Log, but the Mission Log guys are in Voyager right now, and they either very recently or are about to cover Threshold.
Oh, my gosh.
I was catching up on that today. So I'm like, oh man, here it comes.
Oh my gosh. Getting back to the episode here. Woo. What is your take? Like, good idea, bad idea, awful idea, worst idea in the universe, in the galaxy, in the quadrant of trying to revive the Diviner?
I'm like, Janeway, I know, girl, you don't know any better, but oh man, I'm like, this is not gonna end well. I mean, it's Janeway though, even while she's drinking black tea, which I mean, I like black tea just fine, but I drink my coffee black, just, I take it the Janeway. And so I'm just like, no, girl. Stop drinking that tea. Drink some coffee. You beat the Borg with it. Let's we need a little extra juice to handle the Diviner, because he's he's wily.
Yeah. I'm pretty nervous about this whole thing. And of course, Janeway's just doing the Starfleet thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk woke up, a sleeping, a dictator in Khan and like created an arch nemesis that lasted, several years, decades, and seasons and episodes and TV shows and movies. But it's come on, Janeway, you should know better.
Well, I think this kind of pairs well with the episode title is Let Sleeping Borg Lie. Let Sleeping Diviner Lie.
Yeah,
oh
for
my
real.
Gosh. No, bad news. Bad news bears.
For real. I got some big Gollum vibes when he awoke.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was on purpose or not, like a nod to John Noble, like maybe something there, but I thought it was really well done when we had that scene. And it kind of like, oh yeah, okay, bring on the next episode.
Right. And well, here's the thing. We don't know.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
If he's going to wake up and remember anything, because, he got the full 0.
That's true.
Whereas Gwen just got the reflection. So is he going to be in his right mind? Is he going to remember anything? We don't know. So, but I don't think it would be much of a show if he wasn't again, we got to have these real stakes. This is, I feel like things are going to end pretty poorly with this. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Things are going to end poorly, but I'm loving the story so far. The plot is really starting to unravel, as a viewer, the first half of the season, it was like, where are we going? What's the timeline? Are we going to meet with Starfleet? Because a Star Trek show has to have Starfleet, right? So where are they? What are they doing? And now we have them. Now we have our mission parameters. Now we know why in the trailer, they were trying to keep the protostar away from Janeway, and it's like, oh, because they want to keep Janeway safe, because they love Starfleet so much and they want to protect it. And that's really cool. So yes, I'm excited to see where this goes. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. We have the good fortune to have screeners. And so I've not watched past this week's episode yet. So I, even though I have screeners, sometimes I kind of like to wait and watch along with everybody else. Like, I'll watch it like, the day before because I got to write my review.
Oh, for sure.
But and sometimes we do podcasting. But I'm eager to see what's next. I've been really, really impressed with the consistently good writing of Prodigy. I've been really impressed with, how accessible this is, not just for kids, but it's fun for adults as well. The Mission Log folks have a Mission Log Prodigy series, which I've got queued up in my podcast queue. I'm excited to go and listen to it this week and get caught up with them. But one of the things that I keep seeing on the discussion about it on Twitter is that this is engaging for longtime Trek fans as we are without kids.
Yeah.
This is engaging for kids of varying ages, that from really young to, preteens. And so there's a whole hashtag Prodigy with Progeny. So it's parents tweeting the reactions of watching Prodigy with their kids, which I think is
so cool.
That's
I'll look that up.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to kind of gauge like how are people engaging with this content, and I think that's really fun to see. But overall, like, this is incredibly well written. I think the animation is beautiful. If you guys want to go back and take a look, or actually you can literally take a look, because there's a video of my interview with the Hageman brothers. I got to ask them about how do they collaborate with Nami Melamod, who's been on, Rarely Going with our network, talking about how they do the music for the show.
Yeah.
Which is great to see. Like, even the Hagemans are actually involved with that level too. And one of the things they do is, they actually have full orchestra, which, how many kids shows get like a full orchestra doing the music, which, not too many. So I think that's really cool. So anyway, on the whole, this is a well-made show. I can't wait to see where the rest of this goes. I'm so happy that, to have Kate Mulgrew back, because she's my captain. And she's so good in this role. And, last fall when I got to speak with her about doing Star Trek Prodigy, you could tell like this is, she thinks the work that she's doing with Prodigy is some of the most important work of her career.
Oh, wow.
Because, she knows that she's bringing up the next generation. Like, she's this motherly figure to the crew of the Protostar, and she's getting to and we saw that in the last episode too. Like, Dahl is hugging this hologram.
Yeah.
Like she's his mama. So I think, I mean, it's clear that Kate really relishes the weight of her role in this series, even just as I won't even say even just as a voice actor, because I'm a huge fan of animation, and it's a different medium for delivering performances, and everybody on this cast is doing a phenomenal job. But anyway, you could tell how important this work is to Kate, and so I'm so glad that she's back on here and doing this. So anyway, I could go on, but
I love it.
Yeah, this is such good quality work, and I shouldn't expect less from Star Trek.
Well said. I don't think I can really add anything to that. Personally, I'm just, there is a part of me that's just excited to have some really high quality Star Trek that I can just like absorb, like osmosis, just have it on, like the episode ends and it'll roll into like an episode I was previously watching of like Discovery or Strange New Worlds. And I'm just like, yes, leave it on. Let me just absorb. And Prodigy goes right into that bucket of just TV that, I'm a 36-year-old man. I can leave this show on in the background while I do other things. I can connect with different scenes. I can laugh at Jankum. I can smile at the hero moments, and I can be nervous along with Dahl and Gwyn. And just it really feels like purposeful television.
Yes.
And we keep coming back to this emotionally intelligent. We keep coming back to, we're treating the children like the smart young humans that they are. We're not dumbing anything down. And that's all every single viewer wants out of their television show. They don't want to be told everything. They want to figure things out. They want to pick up on little hidden Easter eggs and details and not be bashed over the head with, dialogue 15 minutes worth of exposition just to catch us up on what the story of the day is. So I really appreciate that. And you were absolutely right. We should expect no less of Star Trek. They're doing a great job. Prodigy is, Prodigy's Warp Core as a television show is running at peak 99.9.5 efficiency, which LaForge would argue is still not good enough, but it's fantastic. Ashley, is there anything about this episode that we missed? Do you want to cover really quick or point out?
I think the line that Zero gives at the end of the episode is really poignant, and I think that's where I'll leave it this week. Zero says, "I may have harmed others in the past. I now choose to save."
Yeah, that's powerful stuff.
Yeah. Good job, writer's room.
Good job, writer's room. Ashley, good job to you. Thank you for coming on as our co-host for today's episode covering Star Trek Prodigy, Let Sleeping Borg Lie.
Yeah, good job to you as well.
Oh,
Mike,
thank you.
Thank you for having me on. This is tons of fun. I'm really looking forward to talking Trek with you and the rest of the crew this season in Star Trek Prodigy. I think we're in for a good time.
Oh, absolutely. Tell me, where can we find you on the internets?
Sure. Lots of different places. So you can hit me up on the tweets at The Nerdy Blogger. You can like my Facebook page, facebook.com/The Nerdy Blogger. You can read my words on my blog, nerdyblogging.wordpress.com. You can also read them on fangirlish.com, where I write about film and television. Right now, mostly Star Trek. You can hear my words being read on the Sci-Fi 5 podcast, which is 5 minutes of science fiction history, 5 days a week. And aside from We Are Starfleet, you can hear me on the We Made This podcast network on Podcast 616, where I share co-hosting duties with Hugh McStay, which is our MCU podcast. So we're talking all the MCU properties coming up, and when we have a show, we have weekly coverage. We have a movie, have movie coverage. We do a monthly news roundup, and we're going to have some fun bonus episodes to round out the year. So, really enjoying doing that. And now you can hear me on We Are Starfleet. The other place you can hear me is a show that I do with some of my friends locally. It's called Dearly Debated, where we fuss at each other about film, television, comics, whatever it is that we're geeking out about, and sometimes Star Trek. So
I love that title, Dearly Debated.
Well, it began because my friend Greg and I, we were at a Halloween party a few years ago. It was about the time The Last Jedi came out, and we had a really spirited debate in the middle of our friend's kitchen.
Yeah, I can imagine. with that kind of subject matter.
I know, right? I loved The Last Jedi, and he hated it. And so we had a really fun debate. All of our friends are kind of just standing around and eating popcorn. And we didn't know each other real well at that point. But after we finished, we shook hands and said that was fun. So now he's one of my best friends.
That's amazing.
Anyway, yeah. So this is the kind of banter you can look forward to if you enjoy hearing people argue back and forth.
Oh my gosh! All right, I'm going to check it out. Dearly Debated.
Yeah, we're a mess.
Oh my gosh, Ashley, thank you so much. We are a part of the We Made This network of podcasts, and I hope you've enjoyed this program. If you've liked it, you can find many more just like it over at the WeMadeThisNetwork.com website. My name is Mike Slamer, and you can feel free to give me a follow here at We Are Starfleet on Twitter and Instagram. If you are so inclined to do so, a 5-star review on your preferred podcast app would be delightful. But to be honest, I'm happy that you're listening. That's all for now. Please stay tuned to find out what else is going on the network, and return here next week for more Star Trek Prodigy.
Welcome to the third age of podcasting.
The name of the podcast
is A Dream Given Form,
a show about J. Michael Straczynski's Babylon 5
for the We Made This podcast network.
Join us in 2022 as we look back at themes and ideas from across the show's history.
Today, we're going to be discussing the 3 prominent leaders of Babylon 5. Sinclair, Sheridan, and Delenn.
Everything from Earth and the Shadows and Minbari all the way through from early days of Season 1 all the way through to the Interstellar Alliance, and it's their legacy. Interstellar Alliance is really the legacy of these 3 characters. We are kind of going to potentially some scary territory here, looking at the parallels between Earth Force and Babylon 5 and the real world in which we live in now.
It is a really insidious way of doing things, and the more I think about it and the more I watch that scene and the way that Pierce speaks and talks about it, it really just fills me with chills because, you know, our politicians do this all the time. They talk like this all the time and they hide their true intention behind false promises. Current situation with the potential reboot of Babylon 5 for the CW network.
He's been involved in comic writing, he's been for Spider-Man, he's done shows like Sense8, which is very progressive as well. He's going to bring all that experience into the project, so I think it's going to be a very different show. And even some special guests too. Lita herself, Patricia Tallman.
I love hearing that people are still interested in Babylon 5, and, you know, it's really an honor to continue the conversation around a show that meant so much to us. And, you know, it's the little show that could.
Yeah. And then in 2023, join us for the 30th anniversary of Babylon 5 as we start fortnightly lookbacks at The Gathering Season 1 and beyond.
So, join us for A Dream Given Form.
Our last best hope for peace.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.